In ordinary times, the streets of Kabul are crowded. It's difficult to get around. But today is a special day. Everyone is in hiding. The Afghan capital has just fallen into the hands of the Taliban. They control every corner of it. In the weeks leading up to this full-on offensive, we were able to gain exclusive access into the Taliban.
Commander.
A month before the fall of Kabul, the Taliban are barely 100 kilometers from the city.
Commander.
Salam alaikum, Commander.
We are with Commander Haji Zaka's unit, 100 men gathered in a clearing in the heart of the Afghan countryside. They seem confident, already wearing a smile of victors.
فعلا د موږ پروګرام د مشرانو د خانه هدایت نه درته شوی چې تاسو په ولایت باندې حمله وکړئ. هر وخت چې موږ ته مشرانو هدایت وکړو چې تاسو په ولایت باندې حمله وکړئ، نو ان شاء الله کابل هم زور نه غواړي.
He doesn't like America, but he has to recognize that American weapons are really good.
دا سلا
Yes.
ښه سلا ده. دا موږ غنیمت کړې ده او د دوی نم نیولې ده په مقابل د دوی کې استعمال کړې ده. نو خوندور کار کو ډېر مرتدین یې ته کړنګ راوړي. امریکا دا امریکا.
The commander came to distribute the huge stockpile of weapons recovered from the defeated Afghan army. Fighters from all over the region have been invited to share the weapons stock that will be used to conquer the capital. The children are busy carrying boxes of ammunition. Inside, the most up-to-date American weapons stand next to old Soviet guns. Here lies all that remains of the defeated. It isn't surprising that the Russians, Americans, and even the Chinese desire control over this country. Afghanistan is a crossroads of vital routes. Whoever occupies it controls the gates to India, China, and on the other side to Turkey and Europe. Yet no one controls Afghanistan. Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan left their mark there. The British and the Russians also fought over it. Rather suitably, it has been nicknamed the Cemetery of Empires. The Taliban came to power in 1996 and immediately imposed Sharia law in its most archaic and savage form. In Kabul, hangings upon hangings. They judge and execute in stadiums. Terror reigns. Religious obscurantism lasted 5 years, culminating in March 2001 with the destruction of the 1,000-year-old Buddhas of Bamiyan, alienating themselves from the international community. Afghanistan then became the heart of the Al-Qaeda terrorist machine. The Taliban offered asylum to Osama bin Laden and his followers. It was in the training camps of Kandahar that the suicide bombers who blew up 2 airliners in the World Trade Center towers on September 11, 2001 were recruited.
I want justice. And there's an old poster out west, as I recall, that said, "Wanted, dead or alive."
Operation Enduring Freedom begins. In less than a month, the Taliban were removed from power. Only 20 years and $1 trillion later, they are once again at the gates of Kabul. We have been negotiating to meet them for many weeks. A possibility seems to be emerging. But before this perilous journey, we have to take some precautions, especially for Véronique de Viguerie, the photojournalist.
Parce que celui-ci, il y a plusieurs... genre, si vraiment j'ai pas envie qu'on me voie, ou si c'est bon, je peux laisser mes yeux, quoi.
You can try.
Shall I try?
Just to give glasses. With this you can use glass. No.
Yeah. You have to help me. I know it's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it suits me perfect, no? It's a good size, no?
It is, yeah.
On ne voit pas trop, il fait un peu chaud. C'est pour ça que je vais prendre la burqa et après, dessous, je vais mettre le voile noir, comme ça, c'est plus facile pour shooter. Et en plus, ça nous permettra de ne pas être habillés pareil à l'aller et au retour, pour ne pas se faire repérer.
After 8 days of waiting, the signal is given to us.
Ça y est, enfin, on a l'autorisation d'aller voir les talibans. Donc on part là et on revient demain, j'espère. Inch'Allah.
At this moment, our biggest fear is to be stopped by the police or the military. The government doesn't want the foreign press to talk to the Taliban.
C'est agréable à porter?
C'est plus agréable que la burqa, quoi. Mais la burqa, je vais devoir la mettre après.
Je suis habillé en shawar kamis, qui est un habitat traditionnel afghan, et j'ai un chesh que je mettrai, voilà, pour... on fera pas illusion, mais au moins ça permettra d'être un peu plus discret.
So we are just in the main road, right? In front of, I guess, your house.
Our means to enter? This man. He takes us to meet a Taliban unit that controls a territory located an hour and a half from Kabul. We take the road of death, a strategic axis, the scene of many battles. To get out of it alive, you have to know the codes, like our driver. When he sees this truck has stopped, he doesn't ask any questions and immediately pulls over.
Il y a des tirs. Il y a un mec qui est caché là-bas. J'ai entendu un tir.
Ouais, il y a des combats là.
Il y a des combats. C'est pas bon pour nous, ça.
It's Afghan army shooting. Do we need to hide over there?
No. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, I know. Chut.
C'est vraiment l'artère de l'Afghanistan. Tout passe par cette route, donc elle est très importante. Celui qui la contrôle détient le poumon de l'Afghanistan, enfin l'artère.
Puis c'est vraiment, on voit bien que le gouvernement est cramponné à cette route, quoi. Et que les autres sont dans les campagnes à côté et tirent depuis les côtés de la route.
Le Visbar.
Ouais.
On peut dire qu'ils sont vraiment au port de la ville, là. Hein.
Ah là, on est à 20 km du centre, même pas.
En péril. Je sais pas si du coup on va devoir faire demi-tour ou si on va quand même pouvoir y aller.
All right.
On dirait que ça se calme un peu.
trop, non?
Non. Vraiment.
Ça tire fort, hein.
Ouais, mais ça c'est un peu décalé, on dirait.
Non-stop.
Ça... Je vois plus de soldats là sur la route. Il y a encore le MV qui est là-bas, mais il n'y a plus de soldats qui avancent baissés. Allez. Allez, hop, c'est parti. On repart.
After 20 minutes of shooting, everyone is back on the road, as if nothing happened. As the kilometers go by, soldiers disappear, and the Afghan flag gives way to the white banner of the Taliban. We are now in their territory. The villages we cross bear the marks of the recent fights.
This area, 1 week.
1 week? So it's just been retaken.
1 week they have a base, not the village. You're in the base, not
Okay,
in the village.
not in the village, okay.
We have a meeting in this small town. This armored vehicle captured from the Afghan army is now part of the Taliban arsenal. As soon as we arrive, one of them checks that we have authorization to be there. This is Mr. Hanafi. He wears a black turban, symbolizing he is a leader. He will be our guide during the whole stay.
Salam alaikum, single?
His role is to convince us that in Afghanistan, the Taliban are not part of the problem, but the solution.
دا ټوله ساحه د طالبانو په کنټرول کې ده دا د پاسو ببینئ دا د اونخي دره ده په پوه شئ چې مکتبونه دي کې مکاتب دي کې کلینیکونه کې دي نو ټول شایسته کې دا خو موږ په دې ساحه کې الحمدلله مجاهدین شپه ورځ د خلکو په خدمت کې دي نو هیڅ مشکل نه و نشته دی نو که موږ دلته وو کار چېرته وو الحمدلله څه مشکل نشته دی دا جنگ نه دی دا جهاد دی چې خپل وطن اشغال ختم شي په پوه شوې د تورې تیارې د دی د منګولو نه خلاص شي موږ خپل ژوند وکړو.
Many soldiers have stopped fighting against the Taliban, but Mr. Hanafi still acknowledges that some have fought bravely, like those who protected the prefecture of Saidabad.
د درې ورځې محاصره وه او د شپې ورځې محکمه ده یاره د شپږ نفره کې مړه وو
6 men was 6 soldiers were killed in here. It was not took money.
د موږ نام شوي دی.
Yeah.
Do you have the Mujahideen?
Yeah.
How many?
څو نفر
درې نفر دا کلی دی دا پروته دا کوم ضد جنگ شوی دا شکست بجنین اوان غرانای دیسی.
After the defeat, many soldiers abandoned their military uniforms to blend in with the population. According to Mr. Hanafi, the Taliban of yesterday are not those of today. They know how to present themselves. He shows us videos where the Taliban claim to free prisoners. Widely shared on social networks, these videos prove nothing. But they can convince underpaid soldiers to give up their weapons.
هغه ته خوشي کله دی ته خپل پیسې ورکړلې 10,000 روپۍ افغانۍ ورکړې دی خپل کور ته.
The Taliban tour continues. Mr. Hanafi wants to prove to us that their takeover of the country is justified. But in the market, nobody dares to speak up. So he motivates them.
څه مشکل لرئ ورته ووایئ د چا نه چې شی وړی وي هغه تاسو پخپله ورته ووایئ د سیداباد ولسوالۍ خلک خو موږ ته رسېږي د ما نه یې تیل وړي د ما نه یې اوړه وړي د چا نه یې وړي دي
دا خلک چې وړي
هغه د چا نه وړي د کندوران چیرې دي چې وړي ته وړي او شای ته وړي
هغه د کندور و
کوم دی
دغه ته بورا و دغه ته لور
On edge, Mr. Hanafi goes to look for a witness himself.
نه د مونږ شي نه دی وړي خو زه په دغه دولت د طالبانو ډېر راضي یم د ما کور خو پشنیس کې دی والله که د طالب نه زه دا حاضر داوم که د خپل د سالار د پوستې نه چې زه حاضر داوم.
But it's not enough. He goes to find a second witness.
واسم پیدا شو دوی دا به ترمیم کړو او د دې نه بر علاوه د خلک راغلي وو مخکې د دې نه چې د لاړ شي د دو ځای نه په زور باندې یعنې په هغه باندې تیل یې وړي دي بیا یې پیسې لېږلې داسې ده چې مثلا موږ معامله ده که نه یو 15 ورځې ځنډېدل یې یو بعضې اوس هم بعضې هغه باندې بعضې ملګرو باندې اوس هم پیسې ورکوي هو.
Mission accomplished for Mr. Hanafi. He still has to show us that in the city, life is good. Here, we even find beer. Alcohol-free, of course. On the other hand, since the return of the Taliban, the sale of cigarettes is forbidden. We asked to visit the hospital, specifically to see how women are treated. To our great surprise, Mr. Hanafi accepted. Located outside the city, the establishment was built by Sweden. The director, Mr. Abdul, shows us around. Here is the emergency room.
Just a moment.
At the back of the room are two women. They are the first ones we see. The director pulls the curtains himself. Even though they are veiled, we must not see them. The hospital lacks resources, even stretchers.
About a few days or here was so war in this area. So due to war, the high percentage of patients came here.
Mr. Abdul lacks the money for treatments. He had to invest in construction instead, as the Taliban had a few requests.
Due to we have constructed this wall for the separation of them, that you had better separate women from men.
It's not a law that was implemented by the Taliban to say women should be separated by
Yeah,
men.
of course.
Okay.
This is their demand.
But before, men and women were together here.
Yeah, both of them were mixed.
Okay.
That was not good because our culture is not allowed us that we men and women because mixed in an area.
And the Taliban's demands don't stop there. Men and women must never cross paths, even in an emergency.
We have two rooms for operation. Men should be operated here and female should be operated there.
But things get complicated when we ask to see the women's wing.
And take the picture of women.
Women no.
Yeah.
We can visit the women walk?
No.
They're not allowed?
No.
Why?
Just a woman.
Yeah,
I am a woman, you know.
Because they didn't allow for you that you get a pictures or much more. That is not good.
But just the babies. The babies. Small babies. You know, for me, it's important to show that on your territory, women are still making babies. Life is normal.
After demanding that the women hide under their veils, they allow us to enter. But we are forbidden to talk to them.
Ah, il a beaucoup de diarrhée. Il fait que vomir. Et il est tout maigre. Et tout mou, le pauvre.
At the end of the visit, we joined the other leaders for lunch. Only Veronique is rather frustrated.
Ils veulent pas qu'on reste ici parce qu'on est que je suis une fille. J'ai pas le droit de déjeuner avec vous, quoi. Ça me rend dingue, là.
There's no exception, even for a French woman.
Bon appétit, régalez-vous. Oui, nous, on repart du coup les femmes. On pourrait leur couper l'appétit.
2 p.m., the hour of prayer. In the heart of this orchard full of apple, peach and apricot trees. The Taliban don't pray in this orchard for the aesthetic. The fruit trees offer them protection from the eyes of the sky. Government drones.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
During the meal, without permission, a young fighter explains the aims of the Taliban to us.
اوس پلان د بناړه کې چې یو نظام روان دی د ټول کفري قانون نظام دی یو شرعي قانون غوړي په افغانستان کې
ما ورسره د سره خبره ما کړه.
This critique shows that their communication is well organized, that they're on their guard, and yet, thanks to our contact, in a few days we will witness an extremely rare scene, almost never before filmed, as they prepare their final assault on the Afghan capital. Kabul is barricaded. US soldiers don't patrol anymore. Only the Afghan army ensures its defense. Only without American air support, the soldiers struggle to contain the Taliban. Weapons are now firing just 10 kilometers from the city. One of the last barriers of the Afghan army in the west of Kabul is in Maidan Shah, a small town of 2,000 inhabitants transformed into a bunker. This last fortification was not entrusted to just any soldier. Colonel Maya is a former Special Forces officer, and he intends to fight until the end. He takes us to the front line. Colonel Maya leads 150 men. They're all equipped with the most up-to-date American weapons, yet they still struggle to contain the Taliban's advances.
به خاطر که ما همیشه وقت باید آمادگی داشته باشیم در مقابل حملات دشمن ما همیشه از حامله استفاده میکنیم.
Only these concrete blocks separate us from the insurgents, and yet we are less than 50 kilometers from downtown Kabul.
دقیقاً زه به تاسو دروښیم چې دشمن اکثره وختونه کوشش کوي چې د دې استقامت نه پر دې پوستو باندې انداختونه وکړي چې دوی په دلته په کورو په دا ځایو کې ځانونه سره ځای په ځای کړي دي او د هغې خوا نه پر دا پوسته حمله کوي. دا استقامت د دشمن د ګشت لاره ده دا یو کمربند دی چې په شکل دایروي ټول هغه سوي دي دلته په دې سړکو باندې دوی نشي راوتلی دلته هم زموږ پوستې دي په دا باغچو په دا ځنګل کې موږ نه یوازې د کابل د ټول افغانستان د دفاع په خاطر باندې خپل ځانونه مرګ ته آماده کړي دي
Colonel Maya and his soldiers are making do with what they have, but it may already be too late, as a few kilometers away the Taliban are imposing their order without resistance. We find a unit that accepts our cameras. They have set up a checkpoint on the road from Kandahar to Kabul and check each vehicle that passes. All the Taliban in this group wear white sneakers. Nothing to do with fashion. It's their uniform.
از کجا آمدی؟
از کابل.
دارم بالتا. کردی شواف. چیکار هستی؟
دواخانه داری دافروش.
In the eyes of the Taliban, anyone who dresses well is a suspect.
په دغه کې موږ د دوی اسناد اکثره ورګیرو په دغه کې د مکمل اسناد په ټلیفونونو کې د دوی سره موږ دلته د دولتي خلکو په خاطر باندې او د خلکو د امنیت په خاطر باندې نه موږ تنها د حکومتي خلک مطلب نه دي موږ ته د هر څه لکه مخدره مواد
ترکیه شاوره
What happens to the people they arrest? It's hard to tell. But the haunting scene to follow gives us an idea.
Hey!
We are invited to an isolated village in the heart of the Afghan countryside. This seemingly innocent building in fact hides a Sharia court. The judge is in session. He is arbitrating a dispute between two farmers who are fighting over the ownership of a field. In the background, we notice a silent man. Not just anyone. Like all executioners in the world, he hides his face. He will be in charge of distributing lashes to the guilty. The two men will know their fate in a few days.
Will that be the new law or will it be different than what it was before?
د قاضي د محاکمو بس ماغه حکم ده موږ په شریعت کې نوې مسالې نشته دا مسالې د پیغمبر علیه السلام نه په دغه باندې قرآن کریم په ټولو تقریبا په ټولو آیاتونو کې همدغه دی.
For somebody who has steal something, has he ever ordered that his hand gets cut?
نه دغه رقم اوس که د مولوي صاحب چې تېره موضوع کې اشاره ورته وکړه خلک جریان تاسو ولیدله دغه اوس دغه کس په ثبوت سره ګیر شوی دی نو موږ په دغه کې حق دی هغه نه لرو فیصلې او نه تر اوسه پورې موږ دا حدود نه جاری کړي دي هغه نو بیا د موږ مراجعه موږ محکمې ته مراجعه کوو هغه د شریعت په رڼا کې خپله سزا ورکوي که چېرته غل وي مثلا د قصاص حدود وي حد قذف وي نور د رجم هغه وي هغه نو بیا د محکمې هغه د دغه پورې اړوند موضوعات دي د موږ پورې نه دي.
By the sounds of it, the new Taliban doesn't seem to be much different from those who ruled the country before 2001. And Commander Haji Zaka seems to confirm our suspicions. He took up arms at the age of 15. Then he rose through the ranks, establishing himself as a respected leader. The man is young, 35 years old, and despite his friendly appearance, his ideas are radical.
What does he think about the Muslim terror attack in France, in Paris, in name of Allah?
هغه مسلمانانو ته د ما دا پیغام دی. هغه په حقیقت کې کوم مسلمانانو چې د کفارو په مقابل کې چدلې دي مقابله کو مبارزه کو نو هغه ته د الله پاک نن مرسته او نصرت غواړم الله پاک دې نورم تقویه کو او موږ هم ورسره همکار یو څوک چې د موږ په اسلام باندې تجاوز کو څوک چې د اسلام توهین کو څوک چې د موږ د پیغمبر توهین کو موږ دغه حمایت کو او موږ دغه ملګری یو دغه سره همکار یو.
He doesn't condemn any attack. On the contrary, and above all, the Taliban has never broken its ties with Al-Qaeda.
If you take power, would you allow Al-Qaeda and other extremist groups to come to your country again?
وقتی که اسامه بن لادن حمله که یا کړی د پغه وخت پغه حالات باندې موږ نه یو خبر نو چې اسامه بن لادن په نیویورک باندې حمله وکړه ولې د اسامه بن لادن په وطن باندې حمله نه کړه په افغانستان باندې ولې حمله کړه دای خو پاکستان کې په شهادت باندې ورسېده دغه ترتیب د افغانستان د پاره د اسلامي نظام د نړول د پاره 15 شکاله مخکې يهوديانو په پلان کې و دوی د پاره یو پروګرام جوړ کړی او ورته پلمه اسامه بن لادن شو.
What's going to change if you take the power? Stop sports, music, smoking cigarettes?
ما مخکې خبره درته وکړه کوم څه چې قرآن موږ ته روا کړی دی هغه موږ په مخه کې وو کوم څه چې قرآن بند کړی دی هغه موږ بندو.
However, music plays from a radio attached to this motorcycle. The law forbids the use of musical instruments. But the a cappella singers edit their voices using vocoders often used by rappers to make melodies. These are small musical arrangements in line with their vision of Islam. We take to the road again, quite disconcerted by the astonishing ease with which the Taliban seem able to take over the country. There is also a look of power in their faces, like a tsunami ready to fall on a country already so bruised. This murderous streak has lasted over a year, including executions of their opponents and the journalists who criticized them. Near the border of Pakistan, in Jalalabad, we have an appointment with the sister and the father of a journalist of the television channel Enikas. She was shot whilst leaving her home. Her name was Malala Maiwan.
Arsa, پخپل زو سره راتلم چې مو یو کورولا موټر نیولم زمونږ یو وطندارو انډیوال مې مو ان ډېر کمې پیسې زمونږ نه اخیستې دا مونږ په دې پیدلو چې دا سخت کار دی دا خطرناک کار دی خو چې سخت کار ته وګور نه کې څوک به مونږ ته کوي همدې غوښتل ماته چې پلاره دا کار کوم ما یې وکړ
راغلاست درنو لیدونکو انعکاس هر خبرونه ده دواړو پیښو لپاره ټارګېټ شوه ملالې نه ته نه خبریالي کوله او نه دا چې یوازې د ښځو د حقونو ملاتړ کولو د دواړو لپاره زما په نظر د دواړو کارونو لپاره ووژل شوه کار څوک هدف لره پښتانه یو متل کوي چې یو غش یو دوه نښانه نو هماغه کار وشه حقونو کاغه د بشریت دپاره کار کولو بیا د ډېرو ګواښونو او تهدیدونو سره سره هغه پوهېده چې د هغې ژوند تر ډېر ګواښ لاندې دی خو هغه مګر تسلیمېدله نه.
In total, 4 women from the TV station were murdered. Since then, not a single woman works in television in Afghanistan. The Taliban use terror to extinguish any desire of women and girls to rise in society. Wednesday, 8th of May 2021. Horror strikes schoolgirls in a district of Kabul. As they leave the classroom, 2 car bombs explode, one after the other, killing 50 teenage girls. 2 months later, the school is still healing its wounds. But the courageous director has shown her determination by reopening the school a day after the attack.
در این قسمت بود در همینجا یک موتر بم بود دقیقاً همینجا بود یک موتر ها دومی 2 یا 3 دقیقه بعد از اون اتفاق افتاد مردم جمع شدن.
These girls belong to the Hazara minority, moderate Shiite Muslims who are regularly targeted by religious extremists. Their names were painted on a stone on which the inhabitants of the neighborhood come to pay their respects.
مکتب که میایم واقعا برام دردناک است. بیایم و به وظیفه‌ام ادامه بدم و صدای اینا را مظلومیت اینا را به گوش جهانیان برسانم، نه تنها کشور.
خواستم دوست من بگیرم که دستش از این طرف قطع شده بود. دستش گرفتم بعد رو سینه‌اش گذاشتم فرار کردم. دو قسمت در پیش دانایی رسیدم که انفجار کرد. انفجار دوم باز روی زمین افتادم.
The names of the 50 victims are also written on the wall. Arifa, 16 years old, discovers her friend's name.
She was my friend. She wanted to be a doctor in the future, but now she is not here.
No one has claimed responsibility for this attack. However, the announced return of the Taliban is terrible news for this Hazara community where women study, work, drive, and even have the right to vote. Despite the threat, these girls intend to keep their heads high and take their destiny into their own hands.
کشور ما زیر دست نجات پیدا. خب طالب که بیاید نماند که ما مجبوریم در خانه بشینیم چی کار کنیم.
من که فکر میکنم حالی که نشد که ما با قلم بجنگیم مجبور هستیم که زن و مرد با اسلحه بجنگیم. ما میخوایم افغانستان یک کشور جمهوری اسلامی است. ما میخوایم که با قلم بسازیم وطن خود، ولی خود طالبان که نخواست میخوان که با اسلحه بجنگن، ما هم با اسلحه میجنگیم.
Women who want to take up arms, an almost unimaginable image in Afghanistan. Yet one of them has. Today in Kabul, her portrait appears everywhere on the walls, with a Kalashnikov in hand. Her name is Kamar Gul. She's 15 years old, and she has shot 2 Taliban. Her act also commands the respect of men. She agreed to meet us with her brother despite the death threats against her and her family. For security reasons, she told us her story in a 4x4 with tinted windows parked far from her home.
خواه بودم ما خواه بودیم که نبیامون دروازه دالمار بزن دروازه شکستید پدر مرد اینجا بیرو کن ایزی قسمت بیام بودن اینجا بیام بودن اینجا بیام اینجا بیام اینجا گام بیام بودن دیگه که بیاد 4 طرف ایزی همه کل کیان تو بیم دروازه که بشکستم دن دور من در خانه که پیار مادر مربور کن ناش به شهادت رساندن که من بزدم 2 نفرش رو کشته شد یکی هم زخمی که ما نستخبارات طالبا بوده کلان. خیلی فکر کردیم ما که هم تو فکر کردیم تا دیگه مردم ها جمع شده از 6 شاجر برمی داشتیم هیچ احساسی نداشتم گوشم به طرف پدر و مادرم بود که اینا چی شده من که آزو به جلو بلند نبودم باز یکم وقت که پدرم در خانه گفتم تو بیا برای من نشون دین که میاد گیرم اول که برای نشون نمیدن گفتن نه خیر تا بعد یه نداشت بشه اینا
سالا افغانستان خوردی هم یاد داره کلانی هم یاد داره هر رقم سالایی که بین افغانستان هسته و هر کس یاد داره
میترسم از طالبان میشیم برام بزنن ترور کنن همه جا به حالت سقوط تکان طالبان کل جای میگیره گرفته در آینده درس نخوندم که چی شدم دیگه میخوام درس بخونم بله یک رئیس جمهور افغانستان شدی این کلی طالبان همه گیر میزم یک دانش زنده هم گذاشتم
تشکر take care yeah
After this incident, Kabul was taken in by the government, which provided her with an apartment and some means to live by. Kabul joined the resistance by means of self-defense. Others experienced the struggle of women in a different way, but always at the risk of their lives. Balkis Roshan, a member of parliament, is one of them. She is constantly surrounded by bodyguards. She receives new death threats every day.
این باز یک گروپ تروریستی دیگه بود از طالبان است کسی به نام مولای غفار مشهور به یک برنامه دیگه داشته که میخواست با ماین و امکاناتی که دست داشتی خود حمله تروریستی انجام بده. اینا نوشته کرده که موضوع تهدید امنیتی علیه محترم بلقیس روشن و از ولسی جرگه. باز مکتوبش گفته که از ریاست امنیت ملی آمده. گفته یاسر باشنده فعلی ولایت قندهار.
For the MP, the Taliban are not the only problem. She strives to denounce the many who have been plundering the country for decades. In the parliament, she's part of the commission that fights against corruption, something that makes her very popular.
ما در فرا بودیم وقتی که نقاشی را اینجا تعداد جوانا کشیده بودن. وقتی که آمدیم اکثر اعضای پارلمان هم یعنی حسرت میخوره بعض وقت طالب و داعش و در مجموع گروه هایی که مستقیم در جنگ است با ظاهرا در داخل خود دولت است تنظیمایی که در جنگ ها بودن مافیایی که هستن زورمندایی که هستن داخل دولت در سقو هم جابجاست متاسفانه.
The warlords were born out of the chaos that reigned after the Soviet occupation. It allowed them to get their hands on the country's wealth and to seize fiefdoms. Today, their immense wealth allows them to finance small armies.
از لحاظ فکری، از لحاظ مفکوری سیاه و تاریکی که علیه مردم افغانستان و مخصوصا زنان افغانستان دارن هیچ با هم تفاوت نداره. اینا سال 91 تا 95 امتحان خود به مردم دادن. بنام با طالب اینا مخالفت چندان هیچ ندارن بگیم. اینا علیه زن است اونا علیه. اینا مردم افغانستان با معامله میگیره یا کشتار کردن اونا میگیره. و از علت دوم که اینا با طالب سازش خواد کردن و خوشامدگویی خواد کردن است که اینا دارایی بسیار بادآوردی به دست آورده. میلیونر شده، میلیاردر شده در افغانستان.
She wants to prove this by confronting the warlords who have become deputies in the chamber. One of them, Ala Gul Mujahed, does not hide his intention to make a pact with the Taliban.
پس چرا تمام زیربناهایی که
خواهش ما از طالبایی است که امریکایا قوای ناتو شکست کرد نوش جانت که زدیش مگم افغان نکش اردو را نکش پلیس نکش بیا کتیما بیادر ما هستید همینجا یک جای حکومت بساز یک جای کتیما زندگی کن.
This powerful warlord was kind enough to receive us in his fiefdom, east of Kabul. Here he owns everything for miles around, including shops, gas stations, brick factories. The government is also obliged to share the taxes of the 120,000 inhabitants who live on his land with him. He hosts us in one of his flashy villas with ultra-secure protection.
She says that your property were taken from the people, from killing people, that you have no commitment to women's rights.
زن خطر است که به زنها احترام دارم. اینطور است که مقام مرد بالا میشه. همکار شما که چیزی خفه نباشن. دو زن در جمع یک مرد میباشد نگاه شریعت. دو زن یک ذره ضد مجاهدین بود. ما گفتم شما را نه طالبان میکشه و نه دولت. شما یک وسیله هستی بر مردا. همه خبرش گفت دیگه زیاد نگفتی.
Ala Gul Mujahed manages the whole political life of his fiefdom. Since a village chief was killed today, he decided to make his son the successor. He doesn't seem very happy about it, but it's hard to refuse.
پدر از این چند روز پیش قطعه 01 روز شب جمعه را به شهادت رساند. با دیروز جنازهش بود، امروز فاتحه‌گیریش هم لنگی و کلانی از این را در سر از این ماندیم. سلام علیکم. بابا هم دروازه را سعی کنه شتر مرغا را میبینیم باز پسش میایم. دیر هو
A passion that he shares by chance with Pablo Escobar, the famous drug trafficker. And like him, he has a small zoo and many houses full of gold.
یگام وقت من که فامیل خود میام باشم در اینجا میباشم. چند جای دیگه هم خانه دارم، فامیلای اونجا هست. یگام شب جمعه که میام اینجا که فامیل خود میباشم کلش فرش هست.
This is my bed for taking rest.
اینجا 80 نفر نمی اولیم 3000 نفر.
Around 3,000.
Okay.
سلای ثقیل هم دارم.
دی دښمن په سترګه ورته ګوره طالب ته مثال یا امنیت ملي دی.
بس دې چې هر څوک چې موږ سره وجنګیږي هغه د موږ دښمن دی.
Ala Gul Mujahed has been waging war for over 40 years, and for peace he's ready to get along with anyone. Among his bodyguards, some were still in the Taliban ranks until recently.
America شکست. America fuck you.
This one proudly shows a video where we see him burying a mine intended for the Americans. Warlord or Taliban, all fighters are alike, although sometimes they change sides. But they wear the same clothes and share the same obscurantist vision of Islam. In Kabul, Afghans who worked for Western countries know that they will be the first on the Taliban's list. This man that we are meeting worked for the French army. In particular, the gendarmerie. For 2 years, Zabiullah served as a security advisor.
This is my documents given by the ITC commanders, and this is my badge, and this is a certificate of appreciation. Colonel Joram de Klember, ITC commander, Maidan Warde. I'm this one. Now I fear because I am a target. You know, if Taliban, I have this documents said you are a spy for the foreign government. So directly shoot me and I will be die.
France claims they have evacuated all those who collaborated with the Taliban. Obviously, they forgot some of them. We went to ask the French ambassador about the fate of these Afghans. The ultra-protected area of the embassies is an endless row of concrete blocks secured with barbed wire. Ambassador David Martinon is preparing to celebrate his last July 14th in Kabul. The building is almost deserted, ready to be evacuated, but according to him, France has forgotten no one.
Tous les cas ont été examinés. Nous sommes en train d'achever l'opération de mise en sécurité de nos collaborateurs afghans. Ce que nous essaierons au final de mettre en sécurité, ce sont par exemple les activistes des droits de l'homme, par exemple un certain nombre de journalistes extrêmement exposés et peut-être des artistes qui ont pris des positions ou dont l'expression artistique les met en danger.
France is doing what it can, but it has not always been able to help those who were too far away, those who couldn't reach the capital in time. On the wall at the entrance to the residence, the ambassador emotionally recounts the names of French soldiers who died in Afghanistan.
18 août 2008, Alexis Tahani, 8e régiment de parachutistes d'infanterie de marine. Julien Lepin, Damien Buil, Kevin Chassin.
2 days before the ambush that took the lives of these men, our cameraman, Paul Comiti, was under fire with them.
Ok, est-ce que t'as visuel? Sur la gauche. Au coin de la maison. Tout ce qui bougera de la maison. Il y a le portail bleu. Tu démontes. Laquelle maison? Laisse-toi. Ça tire là-bas.
That day, fortunately, there were no deaths. In 20 years, 90 French people have lost their lives in Afghanistan.
Est-ce que ça valait vraiment la peine, monsieur l'ambassadeur?
Tout ce qui a été tenté, c'était pour une part totalement légitime puisque c'était la lutte contre Al-Qaïda. Et c'était également légitime d'essayer d'aider nos amis afghans à rebâtir un État. Voilà. Donc je pense qu'on peut être très fiers de ce que nous avons fait ici.
The few guests present in the embassy, mainly bodyguards, members of the raid and special forces, are not really in the mood to celebrate. The ceremony is more of a goodbye. Now the ambassador is still in Afghanistan, managing evacuations. Zabullah, the translator who worked for France, has returned to Jalalabad, where he is in hiding. Taliban commander Zaka has been promoted. He is now in charge of an entire district of Kabul. Arifa, the young Hazara girl, no longer goes to school. We have no news of Belkis Roshan, the deputy. As for Kamagul, she is still waiting at the airport, ready to be evacuated.